How did you pull this off? This was a tough guy, and boy, did he hang in there, and he took tremendous punishment and kept coming back.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to outpower him because my first time coming up to 200. So I knew I had to use the gifts that God gave me. Speed, power, movement, punch selection, and IQ. That's exactly what I did.
Got go around. He's on his way now to a small bit.
I just want to get the baseball team now. Let's see how
God damn, I'm gonna get fucked up, baby. The best fights I've ever seen in my life. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm getting loaded.
What are your thoughts on the fight?
They call him the Mexican monster for a reason.
That was crazy. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting Zurdo to be able to go to 12 because Zurdo has never been stopped before. Or not that I remember him. I think he's been stopped before. But he's tough, But I mean, David's much stronger cruiserweight than he was at 175 and 168. Like much stronger. You can see in his speed, he's not killing himself. You can tell.
Were you impressed that Ramirez came back after the fourth round when it looked like it was over?
Hey, motherfucking weak. Honestly, I mean, he's a warrior, bro. I mean, dude, you're telling me where he got hurt. He kept trying.
I'm just very happy with this, and I just want to keep fighting against the best in the world and keep cementing my greatness. Everybody doubts me over and over and over and over again, but that's what I like. I like when people doubt me because then I get to come in here and show you guys what I'm really made of. So I just want to tell you thank you so much. I love every single one of you, and this is a blessing just to be here with you guys. So thank you so much. I feel that I'm really starting to come into my own. Everything I speak, I do. You know what I mean? I said I was going to beat David Morrell. I said I was going to beat Caleb Plant. I said I was going to beat Yard. I said I was going to beat Zurdo Ramirez. So I'm just getting, a lot of confidence in myself. And back then, I thought it was a dream that I could become a great. And now I know for sure that this is my destiny. And I'm just very, very happy that I'm able to have this type of performance in Cinco de Mayo in the United States. My last fight was in Saudi Arabia. I had a great performance out there too. And it's just, just a blessing to be able to follow it up with this type of performance in the United States on Cinco de Mayo.
Seeing a former world champion, a fighter once seen as untouchable, being carried out of the T-Mobile Arena on a stretcher was a shocking moment for everyone watching. That was the harsh scene surrounding Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. The bright emergency lights, the silent crowd, and the complete heartbreak created a disturbing image. But what if the most unsettling part of this whole event was not the knockout itself? What if the truth is this fight had already been decided long before the opening punch inside private training sessions and under the intense spotlight of Fight Week? The real defeat may have started with a deep mental collapse that happened far earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen, big 6th-round KO from David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Definitely a great fight. But wow. David Benavidez knocks down Zurdo Ramirez in the 4th round. And then continuously, throwing crazy combinations. I mean, I'm talking about 6-piece combinations, real close range. Zurdo Ramirez came into the fight strong, came in there with his front foot. He came in there pressing the action, but David Benavidez's speed combinations was just way too much. Shout out to Zurdo Ramirez. Hell of a chin on him, man. I mean, I'm telling you, he took so many big shots. David Benavidez ended up closing his eye, and he really just couldn't take any more. But big shout outs to, Hyman Munguia as well, beating Resendiz for the WBA title. And now you have David Benavidez, a 3-division champion. I mean, what's next? We seen Canelo Alvarez in the building for Hyman Munguia, but was nowhere to be found on the main event. David Benavidez called him out, let everybody know, listening to fans, do you want this fight? He's calling out Monstro. The fans are calling out Monstro. It was definitely a great performance.
Just days before facing the most dangerous fighter in the sport, a surprising statement quietly came out. During normal Fight Week interviews, boxers usually show complete confidence and carry themselves like nothing can break them. But Ramirez said something that instantly caught everyone off guard. He openly admitted that he may only have 1 or 2 fights remaining in his career.
And I know that you mentioned you are thinking of only fighting 2 more times. With that being said, what is your really dream matchup in the sport of boxing before you retire?
I don't know. Let's find out. But I have this Saturday, this coming fight Saturday, and then who knows?
Yeah. And lastly, what can fans expect Saturday night, and what do you really want your legacy to be when it's all said and done one day?
They have to expect a war. It will be a war this fight, and I will raise my hand with my belt for the winner.
What about the legacy?
My legacy, I already have legacy, and probably I will do more.
Completely. Well, thank you so much. All the
Saying the word retirement while preparing for a massive Cinco de Mayo showdown is the kind of mistake no elite fighter can afford. You do not walk into the biggest battle of your career already thinking about life after it. That sharp mindset and total hunger needed to survive at the highest level was clearly gone. Even while acting like he was getting ready for war, he was already speaking like a man planning his way out.
And it was the way that David Benavidez beat Gilberto Ramirez tonight. You know, Terrence versus Canelo, that was his own masterclass. Shakur versus Tio, you know, Inoue beat Nakatani, Usyk and Fury, all really good performances, don't get me wrong, but that's what the fuck I'm talking about. What David Benavidez just did to Gilberto Ramirez. I said in the breakdown after the weigh-in that yesterday, expect some James Toney-like stuff from David Benavidez. I didn't think he'd dispatch of him in 6 rounds. This was his best performance yet. I think the pacing he had in this fight was brilliant. Knowing he was up in weight, he didn't throw too many punches too early, and he relied on his defense a lot. Did some good James Toney-like defense, paced himself, found his jab, and then the hand speed ringside was absolutely insane. I mean, he's one of the fastest fighters in boxing of any weight class, but to have hand speed like that at 200 pounds, the dexterity on the punches, he hurts Zurdo by switching southpaw in the 4th round, hits him with a straight left hand, then follows it up with ridiculous combinations. I mean, electrifying stuff, you know, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya type fucking combinations. And eventually drops him with a right hand, hitting him with every punch in the book. The left hook in the inside was money, and just puts together some beautiful offense. He is one of the most offensively prolific fighters in the game.
The difference between both camps was impossible to miss. While his opponent was fully locked in and preparing with ruthless focus, Ramirez seemed to already be thinking beyond the ring and imagining a calmer life far from the endless training and brutal sparring rounds. Sometimes that small loss of focus is enough to turn even a top-level fighter into an easy target.
And the fans like what they came to see. So, you know, there was a lot of talk this week about, is he really a real Mexican and all that stuff. Look, Julio Cesar Chavez was on the fence about it when I asked him back in Thursday after the press conference. I don't think he's on the fence now. He hugged David Benavidez in the ring right after the fight. So this kid has a chance. This man has a chance to be the best Mexican-American fighter since Oscar De La Hoya. He's that good. He has that kind of scintillating hand speed like Oscar had in combination punching. But Zurdo, he tried to give, and I said before the fight, Zurdo was accepting his role as a supporting actor, and that's exactly what he did in this fight. He tried to give David his own medicine in rounds 2 and 3 and had some success doing it. He gave David some of his own medicine. He pressured him, he pressed him as the bigger man, tried to take away some of his range. But unfortunately for him, David Benavidez is an excellent inside fighter. And whenever he wanted to, he would pick his spots with combinations. The short left hook couldn't miss. There was times, even on the inside, he would find the dexterity to hit him with a power jab. So, and people always talk about David squaring his feet up, but he makes it work for him in a way that's very creative and dynamic. And that's why he even went as far as switching southpaw a couple times. So then into the 6th round, Benavidez, after dropping him in the 4th, went back to pacing himself. I think this was the best he ever paced himself in a fight, better than David Morrell or Caleb Plant or any of those fights. And part of it was he had a much more stationary target in front of him. Guys like Vosdick, guys like Morrell, Yard, Plant, even Andrade, who he knocked out in the same amount of rounds. These guys all give him.
The reality check inside the ropes was fast and brutal. When the bell rang, David Benavidez did not only chase a win. He began a full breakdown of his opponent. The speed was overwhelming. The pressure felt suffocating. The arena felt like it was closing in. The number of punches came like a storm. Each round made things worse. For 6 rounds, it was not a boxing match. It became a harsh breakdown of a fighter who looked like he did not want to be there. Every heavy combination from the Mexican monster seemed to strip away the remaining will of Zurdo. It was not only power. It was constant pressure and sharp angles. Benz kept him on the ropes and fired hooks and uppercuts with bad intentions. There was no escape plan and no change from the corner. It turned into a one-sided fight that felt unavoidable as it continued. By the final blow in the 6th round, the truth was clear. The former cruiserweight champion was not only defeated, he was completely broken.
And I'm just very happy with this. I worked my ass off for this camp. I trained 5 months in training camp for this because I knew Zurdo Ramirez was a warrior, and I knew that he was not going to let go of his titles willingly. So, you know, I knew the risks. I knew what I was capable of. I went up there, I told everybody that I wanted to stop Zurdo Ramirez, and that's exactly what I did. And here I am, and I'm just very happy with this, and I just want to keep fighting against the best in the world and keep cementing my greatness. You know, everybody doubts me over and over and over and over again, but that's what I like. You know, I like when people doubt me because then I get to come in here and show you guys what I'm really made of. So I just want to tell you thank you so much. I love every single one of you, and this is a blessing just to be here with you guys. So thank you so much.
The moment the referee stopped the fight, everything turned into chaos. Clips quickly spread across social media, showing medical staff rushing into the ring in a panic. The usual post-fight celebration was completely gone. Instead, the cameras captured a strange silence around the fighter's corner. Doctors and medics worked quickly while the crowd that was once loud fell into an uneasy quiet. The reality of boxing hit hard as it was seen by millions watching at home. Seeing Zurdo strapped onto a stretcher and taken to the hospital changed the whole mood inside the arena. It was no longer about a big win. It became a serious and worrying medical situation.
The gifts are coming. Speed, power, movement, home selection, and I too. That's exactly what I did. Got go around. Right now to I just want to Zurdo, ¿estás bien? Zurdo, ¿todo bien? Está bien, no mames. Start moving back, moving back. ¿Qué quieres, amigo? Ya, aquí.
Yo hacía adaptación.
Fans watched quietly as the harsh truth of the fight world was exposed right in front of them. Losing a title is painful, but it is something else entirely when the body cannot hold up under the pressure of a younger and more determined opponent.
Guys that we're talking about, who just goes out there,
Benavidez.
destroys them.
David Benavidez is fucking special. David Benavidez is everything you want in a fighter. You talking speed, aggression, defense. And think about his defense, right? He's not moving around the ring. He stands right there in front of you. And he's willing to take a shot. He's gonna block some shot, but he's willing to take a shot. And he's gonna shoot his load every time. Combinations, power, just utter savagery. Oh my God, this guy is so special. Such a beautiful fighter to watch. It's like watching Picasso. The ring is this man's canvas. What he just did to Zurdo Ramirez was special. But if you watch Zurdo throughout his career, you knew what was going to happen. Like, if you really watched the two fighters, you knew what was going to happen. I never rated Zurdo that high. Respectable fighter. But I never thought he was that good. Resume was a little inflated. You look at his resume, he like as far as top guys or names, like who did he really fight? What does he really bring to the table? When you watch Benavidez, you know, you see it. You see who he fought. You see what he does to fighters. I say that to say, if you watch these two, you knew what the outcome was. And it proved to be true. David fucking Benavidez. Take a bow, young man. Take a bow. God damn.
The hardcore boxing community saw this outcome coming well before the fight even started. If you look back at forums and discussion threads from the days leading up to the bout, fans were already breaking down the pre-fight interview with brutal honesty. Many believed the signs were obvious. In their view, the warning signs were clear from the beginning. Some even encouraged others to bet heavily on Ben's, arguing that a fighter talking about retirement or the end of his career is already mentally halfway out the door. In boxing circles, that kind of talk is often seen as a major red flag. It reflects a belief that once a fighter starts focusing on life after boxing, their edge in the present is already slipping. It is a strange and uncomfortable reality when thousands of strangers online claim they can read a fighter's mindset better than the people in his own corner. The internet did not just predict a loss in this case, it predicted a one-sided beating, and it proved how closely fans watch every detail of a fighter's mental state.
Beautiful. It was, look, I mean, that's the way I called it, is the buzzsaw of Benavidez, punches and bunches. And the only shot that Zurdo had was kind of, throw a punch right in the center. So obviously the speed was too much. Benavidez was too much. The monster's here for a long time, so very proud of him. But the whole night from top to bottom was excellent. Probably one of the best cards we've ever put.
Absolutely. What do you think is next for Benavidez? What would you like to see? I thought we couldn't hear back here, but maybe he was talking about B-ball. Is that something that looks like it's coming up next?
He's got many options. He's got many options. So I think right now he is the man at that weight class. So whoever's going to fight him has to wait in line, because there's several fighters like Bivol, like all the top guys. So including just all the world champions. But Benavidez right now is the man.
While one career violently crashed into a wall, another rose to legendary status. Ben's walked out of the carnage carrying the cruiserweight titles and firmly established himself as the new terrifying center of the sport. Becoming a 3-weight world champion on a holiday weekend became a moment people will remember for a long time. The Mexican monster did not just win, he destroyed what was left of a fading champion legacy. Taking those belts on such a major stage confirmed his frightening control and showed that anyone facing him must be ready to give everything in the ring, something his opponent was not ready for. It showed the huge gap between both men that night. Putting a veteran in front of him who already had one foot out of the sport was not a real contest. It was a sacrifice. Now the sport is dealing with the aftermath. Promoters, analysts, and die-hard supporters are repeating the same message across every platform. The highlights of those brutal 3rd to 6th round exchanges are spreading fast online. But the reactions underneath reveal the real situation. You can see concern mixed with forced respect as rival promoters and harsh critics send prayers instead of breaking down the fight. It becomes clear that a line has been crossed. Everyone is now agreeing that the fighter should retire. There is no talk of a comeback. There is no demand for another fight. The message is simple and harsh. For his own safety and long-term health, Ramirez should never return to a professional ring again. The sport has taken everything it could from him.